The leg kick is probably one of the most destructive kicks and most useful kicks in all combat.
Because it's so devastating. It's like one of those techniques where you get a couple of those and all of a sudden your leg is screwed up. Like you can't really move good anymore. Even if it looks like you can move good, you're really kind of hobbling on that one that you're asking.
Whether it be sport combat, whether it be a street fight, self-defense, whatever, the leg kick is very, very powerful, easy to learn concept for combat. We're going to look at the leg kick from all different perspectives: outside out leg kicks, inside leg kicks, oblique kicks, side kicks, etc. How to necessarily beat up the leg and use it to set up different combinations or just purely damage our opponent. So today's video is all about the leg kick and its glory, how we can use it to quickly change the outcome of any fight. Let's talk about the outside leg kick first and our major thoughts on targeting. And I feel like this is where, when I'm teaching classes and when I'm first starting to work with people on leg kicks, they have a bit of confusion on or have a bit of like cluelessness, all right? And this is very important if we are going to leg kicks. Like, well, I want to punch Cole in the face. I'm aiming for basically his nose, right, his eyes. I'm not aiming for a cheekbone or his ears, or I'm not just like throwing a punch wildly, though some people are idiots and they do that. But we want to be very specific on targeting. So, major vulnerable spots. Number one, right behind the kneecap, all right? The more we get behind that kneecap, you can see the amount of muscle decreases, a lot of moving parts, okay, more easily damaged, and there's just basically nothing there, easy to touch. Now, the same thing happens the closer we get towards the Achilles. So some major attacking points right off the bat, behind that knee, behind that Achilles, something that's called a calf kick. Of course, we can target the quad and the thigh and do damage over time, and we may have to depending on the angle we're at. But to me, this is low damage, maybe, over time, you will limit the damage or maybe limit his movement and beat him up. But I hit behind the knee in this area or below the quad, below the calf into the Achilles area, you have an opportunity to end that fight in 1 or 2 shots. And that's essentially what we're looking for, okay? So, let's start targeting that area, and we're gonna set up our kick a few different ways. First, I'll have Leon do it. I do not want a naked kick, which means I'm not just gonna go up like, hey, cool, little kick. That's just stupid, all right? There should be something in front of it. Feint, movement, jab. If you're just starting out, get a jab going. A jab is going to establish your range. I throw my jab, I know where Cole is now. Now I can set my feet and kick. Depending on your expertise level, if I throw a jab, I might keep my heel off the ground. That allows me to just pivot right to my kick. Boom, and back. Okay, I could also throw my jab, then re-step, boom, and back. When I'm targeting, I'm using my shin, start hacking behind the knee the best I can. Now, if I threw a jab and came over here and tried to get behind the knee, which I can't, boom, I run into the knee. Some of you guys have seen Oz Prazer on my channel. I've been training with Oz probably 25 years. And we first met in Kyokushin, and I still vividly remember this to this day. One of the worst fucking checks I've ever experienced in my life. I threw a leg kick, and now as we call it the Kyokushin check, boom. He flared his knee hard into my shin. I swear to you, I probably couldn't walk right for 3 months. Every fucking step I took bothered me. It was like one of the weirdest, worst injuries, not truly worst injuries I've had, but it was definitely a memorable injury. So kicking into the knee just ain't smart, and you'll see, some nasty breaks in fight sports because of that, okay? So, you're up, buddy. What I want Leon to do right now is he's gonna get his jab going. He doesn't have to kick every time he throws his jab, but he's gonna get his jab going to establish a range, and then he's gonna get in that nice leg kick behind Cole's knee.
Round 1, fight.
Good. And 2 more, I'm gonna pause. Very good. Good. Okay, some things I really want to point out. First, when we are leg kicking, that our hips have to go to the direction we're adding power. Can you stand in front of me? If I kick with my foot straight at him, my kick looks like this. It's like I'm unable to turn my hip over enough. If I get my toe pointed that way, well, obviously, boom, now I can get my shin to come much easier behind the leg. Another thing that Leo was doing very well, because he's been training here for a while, is that he was doing two things. One, he's getting his head off line, and two, he was supporting it with a hand pin. So when he threw his leg kick, he didn't just do this, throw a leg kick and wait to get punched in the face, boom, get punched in the face, right? He threw a leg kick, head came offline, boom. That was now harder for Cole to find that counter too. We're gonna get into countering the leg kicks in a second, so just as a precursor. Another thing he did really well was my almost requirement when you're learning leg kicks is that you have some sort of, if I'm kicking my right hand starts to either pin or frame. So that I throw my leg kick, my right hand will mirror out, boom. And I pin his arm to control the distance. Like having another jab in place, like, hey, you stay there while I kick you, right? I could also use a frame a little closer where my right hand would come across, boom, and kick, right? But it's basically adding a security blanket to my leg kick. So wherever Leon go again, but I now want you to watch the same exact thing. Watch where he puts that foot to bring that power in. We're going more Thai style kick right now. We're coming that outside line and cutting in. We're gonna go to a little different style in a second too, the Kyokushin Cut Kick. But also watch where his head is. Make sure he's trying to get his shoulder to point at Cole, and also that right hand is defending along the way. Make sense? You're already doing it, so let's just kind of reinforce it. Good. And one more. Good. Now, same exact thing. Let's target the calf. So, the difference of the calf kick is really not much. I actually think it's an easier kick at times. I prefer to see a little bit more of an angling. What I mean by that is I want to throw a calf kick, and instead of necessarily just bringing my leg out and boom, kind of hacking on the outside, caught his knee there, that would hurt me, all right? That I'm gonna slide a little bit to my right. So I throw my jab, slide right, see how my foot tucks in? Boom, hack low. So it gives me a little more extra security or a feeling of getting around the corner. Of course, I can just kind of hack right there, but we're kind of meeting shin to shin a little bit. Yeah, it ain't the worst thing, but it's definitely not the best. Watch Weidman versus Anderson Silva.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
So I'm gonna make sure I come around the corner. My left foot tucks in almost on his toe line. And that's gonna give me that ability to start hacking, boom, low. And when we are hacking at the calf, it's hard to do, I mean, depending how good you are, if you're still learning the kick, don't even think about this. But the more I flare my toes to my body, like it's gonna strengthen my shin and also hypothetically give me a bit of a hook too. Some guys are really good at calf kicks, like one of my fighters, Cam. When he throws that calf kick, he's like, boom, like he gets stupid shit like that. Sorry, I didn't know it was coming. Where he could turn the calf kick into a foot sweep because he curls his toes and he actually had to like flare soccer kick in the end. That's someone who's done it thousands of times very well, so he gets to have a little extra bonus in it. But the concept of kind of keeping that toe curled makes a very strong shin, and then adds the extra stability of just like having, if I kick him here and that leg's loose, his leg goes over there, ding, you know, really smart. So, you're up again. Now you're looking to get that calf kick, but I add one thing. If you feel that you're able to get Cole's left leg step this way, I want you to put a left hook there. Okay.
Round 2, fight.
Try to get a little higher that shin. Better, a little lower into his Achilles, so you hit a little higher and hit a little lower to behind his Achilles. A little better. Better, much better. That was probably the best one. Yeah, there you go. One more. Oh, Leon found it. One more. Boom, boom. One more. That one sucked. Ah, beautiful, nice work. I like it. Good job. So, What do you guys realize what made Leon better towards the end? At first he was staying, like I talked about in a regular kick, he was staying fairly in place. So he was throwing a bomb and kind of just hacking at the calf. Not bad. You heard me call off a lot that his foot was in the wrong spot. But when he started adjusting, boom, boom, boom. Now he started, I added a little extra flair to that, but he started getting around the corner and that calf kick started showing up much, much more strong. So, great tool, that calf kick. And you watch a lot of modern MMA, it is showing up a lot. In fact, I think it's almost changed the leg kick game, which is so cool. I love that about MMA and martial arts in general, is that there's always some sort of evolution. It's not like mind-blowing, oh my God, kick the calf, but how it's applied, how people are using it, it's just so cool. And everything in martial arts can have that feeling where we can dive in and take these little subsets and sub-ideas and what we can do with them. Another variation of a leg kick, we call it the cut kick in Kyokushin, or Americanized, we call it cut kick. That instead of taking when Leon was kicking the leg before, he was coming more on that horizontal plane, right? Where the cut kick is more on the 45 plane. Really good for attacking the body, but also good kind of just hack at the leg. I throw a jab, boom, I just hack at the teardrop. This is a longer road to damage, but it is damage and it is quicker. Why? I do not need to rotate my hips as much. So my foot just comes here, boom, I hack. I'm also allowed to stay a little farther away where I'm still kind of hitting here and I just kind of touch, boom, boom. You know, I'm not giving as much, it's faster, I'm not necessarily turning over and having to recover as much. And I should have said this earlier. Can you kick him again? Watch what Leon does really well after the kick. Boom. Again. Yeah. He's pulling his leg back and getting in a good stance. It's not going to exaggerate it. Where it's almost like somebody's like, ugh. You know, you really got to force and bring that leg back. You have to, because if I kick and I'm lazy on the return, grab my leg, or he grabs my leg or punch me. So the cut kick is like a, not a cheat, just a faster punch or faster kick that lower damage, but less risk. So same thing. Now let's add that little cut kick in there.
Does a lot.
Yeah, Alex Perry, great example. Thank you, very, very. In fact, we'll put some video of him right now. Where he does it, he just hacks at the leg, it's small foot, boom, boom, boom. Smart, easy, great kick, and great damage over time. I don't think Alex Perez finished anybody with that leg kick over time, but definitely it's changed the outcome of the fight by getting beat up and then damage, because that's the most important factor in the night, and then what he uses that leg kick to set other things up with. So, same thing. Now let's focus on that cut kick. Oh, yeah. Yeah, don't think about stepping in as much, right? You're trying not to jam as much. Boom, yeah, staying a little farther away. Boom, good. One more. Good, one more. That was better, good. Now that we've established a traditional, say, outside leg kick, we've targeted the knee, we've targeted the calf, then start targeting the quad. Let's now talk about the defense of the outside leg kick, and then we'll get to some counters. I know you guys don't have shin guards on right now, let's just be a little careful. So, let me show you what's wrong first with what most beginners do when it comes to leg kick defense, then how to fix it. Okay, what's wrong if they do this? If Cole kicks me the leg kick and I just bring on my leg, obviously he's being nice to me, but it is going to steer my leg. If I just give a straight response, incoming, well, that's going to happen, okay, on a micro scale or macro scale. Instead, can you come over here? Yep. When he's throwing the kick, so there's picture that kick is coming on this angle, pause. All we simply do is turn our foot. Now, when we turn our foot and come into it, we call that kind of a Kyokushin check, which means you have a little bit more awareness. But in the beginning, if I know that kick is coming, I just pick my foot up, point my toe that direction, go ahead, think, and now I can come right back on. So think about it, it's an intersecting force. I know this may sound rudimentary to you, but it's actually very important. Kick coming in, I don't want to have a steer, I'm gonna create an intersecting force, so it's basically teed off. So one more time, he throws that kick, check, boom, boom. And when we worked a lot in this class lately, if I am checking a kick, I don't want to get checked and sent to my back foot. If I send back to my foot, I'm going to be in a bad stance, off balance, and whether that, maybe he throws a left hook after, I've got a problem. Instead, I check, I put my foot down where I want it to go. That carrying of my weight forward will allow me to throw a punch counter after. So very simply, he throws that check, boom, I choose to put it down, and I fire up with my punches, okay? So, let's go to who wants to defend? Leon's defense. Okay. Cole is gonna work basically that jab, outside leg kick, and Leon is gonna work on just checking, and if he can, throw a counter, all right?
Final round. Fight!
A few more. One more. Not bad. That was definitely the best one. Good, good, good. So, Leon was just coming back with a jab cross because it's very simplistic in nature. We're used to stepping our left leg forward and connecting our jab. So after your defense, kind of riding that wave down with that jab cross is really smart. You saw Leon a couple times get a little, well, it wasn't perfect, but that's his fighting. It's supposed to be like that. Over time, we're having that confidence in intersecting that kick. So that's your basic, let's say, check defense. Another simple defense is get the fuck out of the way, right? So let's go, Cole throws that leg again, Leon slides back, maybe slides back in, right? Removes the leg, comes back in. You're just basically simply removing the target, whether he slides out of the way, switches his stance, boom, something along that lines. Okay, so show me you know what to do. Boom, boom, yeah. Oh, switch step, Leon's fancy. Boom, boom, very nice. Two more. Hoop, boom, boom. One more. Ooh, one more. That was nice though. Hoop, bam. Oh, I like that one a lot. Very, very, very good job. So yeah, when we're thinking about just simple defense, it always goes, if you guys were maybe watched some of our videos, literally about 15 minutes ago, we just finished our punch defense video. So find that in the channel. But we talk a bit about evasion. And evasion works against punches, but also works against kicks too, obviously, right? So maybe your first layer of defense is gaining that skill to move away from the kick and finding a counter back. Then your second skill would be kind of having that confidence. And then your third skill, which would be that, I'm not gonna do it now because I don't want to destroy shins, is getting to that Kyokushin check, more of aggressive approach. Okay, we hit the outside leg kick. Let's get to the inside leg kick. Okay guys, inside leg kick is a great tool, and I think about it as a jab of the kicks, that it's a way to set something else up. Of course you can do damage, especially as you get lower down into the calf, but it's not necessarily a fight ender, even though, you know, an outside leg kick could be a fight ender. I think the inside leg kick is more of a touch to bring up a fight ender. What I mean by that, all right, easy. So first, our inside leg kick, a little easier kick. I am not looking for as dramatic as an angle, and it almost follows the cut kick principle. I can start with my jab again, small right foot adjustment, boom. And I'm gonna aim for the calf because I think that's the smartest one. So small right foot adjustment, bam. And we start hacking behind the calf. This way, I really feel like I'm trying to curl my toes this way, as well as draw my body that way to increase power into the kick, as well as pull myself away from his right hand. So boom, boom. And what's nice, we just kind of talked about earlier, I put my foot back down again, and then I have a nice strong right hand. So I like the inside leg kick, and a nice, one of my favorite combinations is jab, inside leg kick, cross. It just makes a lot of sense. Or we can start marrying in our inside leg kick with outside leg kick. Jab, inside leg kick, outside leg kick. We'll get very dynamic with our kicks. when you're kicking the inside leg kick, there's two, as I talked earlier, primarily targeting the calf. Of course, I can come behind the knee, into the thigh. If you're MMA, obviously you have to come, you come into the thigh, you run high chance of hitting the groin. It happens quite often. And if I aim to the knee, and Leon turns in his knee, whew, that's gonna suck a little bit. So inside leg kick, great tool. Use it to set up a combination, and if my suggestions aim a little bit lower. So, let's bring Cole back in. What I want them to do now is that, I'll put you on kick again. That Cole's gonna work his jab, inside leg kick, and then he's gonna look to plug in either a cross to finish or an outside leg kick. Go ahead. That was nice. Oof. Someone's shin's gonna be, legs be a little beaten up tomorrow. A few more. Boom, nice. Two more. Oof, one more. Poor Leon. Nice, good, good, good. So what I like about Cole was doing very well is one, he was doing a very good job at creating angles. That he wasn't just standing in front of Leon, boom. And of course, I can do what we call replacement footwork. You know, in and out. I am not a big fan of, maybe you heard me say before, linear combat, even though I might be bigger than Leon, which a lot of you guys love to talk shit about the size difference. He'll fuck me up, okay, trust me. Yes, I may look bigger on camera, but he's bigger in heart. So, I wanna make sure that I am creating an angle. I'm exaggerating it, but that's just kind of basic layer, okay? The problem with creating angles, sometimes people go too close. Ah, fuck, right? So, similar principles we talked about the outside leg, like the more I get my shoulder offline, even though it's a shitty kick, boom, the higher chance I have to counter and as well as not get tagged in that experience. So, and I also like what Cole's doing really well. He was finding his outside leg kick beautifully. And it almost has this hot feel. Inside leg kick, whip it behind, boom, boom, bam. And it's just a slick feeling. Even though we didn't talk about it, sometimes the best time to hit a leg kick is after you've hit a leg kick. Carlos Candelario, our UFC fighter, he's retired now, but one of his best tools was his outside leg kick. And something he did very, very well is if you got one and you reacted like shit, he'd get another. If you reacted like shit, he'd get another. And it was kind of, he'd go hack, hack, hack. It's like, fuck, man. You know, the poor guy was getting beaten up. But great response, and that's just like a great way to start mixing in your leg kicks. If you get one, fucking get another. If your opponent's leg kick defense sucks, especially if you're amateur fighters, you're just in sparring matches or in a self-defense situation, and if you can get a leg kick and get another one, man, destroy that thing. That's the easiest, not the easiest path to victory, but a very, very smart path to victory. All right, guys, let's now talk about a few other advanced variations. And what I'm gonna do, we're gonna talk about the double step leg kick. Jeff Chan, MMA Shredded, did a MMA seminar, or just basically a combat seminar or workshop with us maybe a few months ago and spent 2 days with us. And first off, if you've not met Jeff Chan, what a friendly, intelligent, highly skilled martial artist who's worked with a lot of people, and he just embodies that martial arts spirit. So if you have never seen his channel, MMA Shredded, even if you're not in MMA, there is a load of information on that channel. I highly suggest checking it out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna link in, with Jeff's permission, he gave it to me, I'm gonna link in some of his videos on how he approaches the double step leg kick.
Fifth combination is the hand trap to my cross to my double step low kick, as usual. Whether your opponent has a tight shell guard or an open guard, we can hand trap it. I use my lead hand to cross hand trap my opponent's lead hand, and as I pull the arm down, my cross is already being thrown. Again, if my opponent backs away, I close the distance with a double step low kick, and if they stay there, I just exit off to the side.
Another advanced variation, or not called advanced variation, what's another variation of leg kicks, will be oblique kick and a side kick. And John Jones from UFC, I think, was the best representatives. Oh, I got it. Representatives of how to use an oblique kick and the side kick effectively. So I'm going to show how it works, and I'll let these guys play a little bit with both just the oblique kick and the side kick. I've also done a long video series on just the oblique kick, and we'll plug in some of those aspects too on how it works. So very quickly, I'm attacking the lead leg of my opponent. My oblique kick is essentially a stomp. I'm not bringing my leg this way. It's up, boom, right? And I am using a stomping behavior to target right above the quad or the knee to make his leg do this, okay? There's been one nasty break in the UFC because of it, and Joe Rogan talks about this kick a lot, that it is a very dangerous kick. I'm not gonna hurt you, of course, but if I stomp through, boom, and I continue my motion through that leg and I have enough force, yeah, he's gonna break his fucking knee. That thing's gone. And I don't know what type of surgery he needs after that. So when you're training, be careful here, buddy. Another thing, when you're throwing that kick, it is a little closer range, so I use something in its place. Jab, beat my jab out, and I hit that leg kick. Very, very smart, okay? If I'm backing up, I'm using that jab, boom, putting in that spot, back up, boom, putting in that spot. So it's a very, very smart tool to stop our opponent's forward progress. If you watch it, John Jones, when he uses that, it's primarily for that purpose. Stop his opponent, reset the engagement, and go. So let's put you on oblique kick right now. What I want Leon to do is he's using his jab again, of course, as we were talking about when we said leg kick, and he's looking to plug in that oblique kick, and he's moving around. Boom. So don't jam yourself up. Stay long. The jab sets the range. Boom. One more. Boom. Okay, now I want to switch a little bit. Leon was kind of free flow and Cole's reacting. I want Cole to pressure a little bit. Now your goal is going to use a jab to create some space, and then how can you jam in his lead leg? So Cole's pressuring, boom, there we go. Good. Use your jab a little bit, Leon, or post hand to keep him away. Boom. One more. One more. Good, not bad, okay. Listen guys, like I said earlier, this is a new drill for them, so I don't expect things to go perfectly. And when I'm doing this stuff, it's like, you have to remember, it takes time to develop any sort of skill. One last thing off this line is this side kick, the lead leg side kick. And Leon did it kind of once by accident, or just instinctual, call it that. Our oblique kick goes here, our side kick is here, all right? I could go front kick, but I think it's just not as smart. It's harder for my foot. It's shaped like this. The quad is shaped like this. It's a little harder to target. When you change the foot angle, whether it be oblique kick or side kick, it makes it easier. Toes going this way, oblique kick. Toes going this way, and a side kick. And the same things happen, boom. But when I use an oblique or side kick, small step, boom. Small step, boom, okay? What can miss, or I fuck up, well guess what, bam, we get something else off that if I want. Get some space, chamber that leg kick on the side. That was better. A little too close, a few more. Better, one more. Oh, good, good, not bad. Guys, again, these are advanced concepts that if you don't have a good low kick for either outside leg kick or inside leg kick, don't fucking do an oblique kick. Don't even try to do a side kick. Get your basic skills first, and then you start integrating those. All right, guys, thank you for watching leg kicks in all its glory. I think you gotta subscribe to my channel if you haven't. It would offend Cole a lot if you don't. So yeah, do that. Thank you, bye. That's all I got.